But before we're on, we have a few things to talk about. One of those things being Twitter discourse. Man, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I try my very best to avoid Twitter because every time I get on there, it's just a bunch of discourse over stupid shit and like mob mentality, right? And like echo chamber. I hate Twitter. I think Twitter's like the worst social media, but also the best social media because everyone's on it. But it's the worst because it's just a bunch of echo chambers. Anyways, oh, and cancel culture. Anyways, I digress. There was a thread from a former Soulcalibur top player. He no longer plays the game, but a former Soulcalibur 5 and 6 top player by the name of Party Wolf. Surely, if you're watching this YouTube video and you follow Soulcalibur, you've heard of Party Wolf. Who he made a tweet about. You ever seen Twitter porn? Try to avoid it. Unless specifically retweeted onto my timeline, which onto my feed, which I fucking hate. Try to avoid it. But off the topic of Twitter porn, Twitter's crazy. Twitter's insane. Yeah. Party Wolf saw a tweet from a player who was disgruntled and angry with Akubo. I'm sorry, Harada, because there was leaks of Tekken 8 revealing that maybe they would be a mechanic, something similar to Reverse Ledge in Tekken 8. The guy responded to Harada, or added Harada, which you never do. Don't fucking add Harada. Don't ask him for shit. I think he said it enough. Saying this game better not have a mechanic like Reversal Edge. Oh, he forgot to take first. Oh, he forgot to take it. Oh no. Saying that he didn't want a shitty mechanic like Reversal Edge in Tekken because it would ruin Tekken and kill the franchise just like it did to Soulcalibur. Fellas, did Soulcalibur 6 die because of Reversal Edge? I had to do it. I'm on PS4 watching the stream, so he can't redeem points out. Now, I have some things to say about Reversal Edge and about like new mechanics in general, right? Because my first like competitive, like real foot in the community is in Soulcalibur. I did play 5, and I liked 5, but I like 6 more. For as wild and as fucked up as 6 is, I like 6 significantly more. Had to move my microphone a little closer. Don't poke Papa Harada. That's what I'm saying, dude. Don't poke the bear. He'll fucking claw your ass. Unless you're a bear player, in which case he'll nerf your ass. So, Reversal Edge can be looked at from 2 different standpoints when it comes to if it killed the game or not, or if it hindered the game's growth in a like a really hard sense, in a very like I guess the hard or strong sense, right? Just guard over RE, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So there's 2 ways to look at it. There is disgruntled competitive players who don't like new mechanics, and especially don't like new mechanics as crazy and ridiculous as Reversal Edge is. For anyone who doesn't know, if you're not a Soulcalibur player and you've never seen the game, you should check it out. It's pretty sick. But if you haven't, there's a button command, a dual button command that allows you to use a parry that then initiates a clash along the lines of Injustice, but instead of spending meter, you play rock, paper, scissors. Sounds like a you problem. It sure as hell wasn't RE that killed Soulcalibur. I don't think RE killed Soulcalibur. That's not what I'm getting at. That's a tweet that was tweeted. Maybe it didn't help it grow, but it sure didn't kill it. Netcode and COVID did it. And yeah. Let me shut the fuck up. Let me talk. Quiet down over there. That is the point that I'm actually going to get to here in a little bit. So I do think that launch RE was actually egregious. Was fucking egregious. It hindered the growth of the game, and it scared off a lot of people who would have continued to play the game competitively. Now, casuals, they're like less harmed by that shit. They don't think about it. They don't care about it. It's not something that really comes to mind for them, right? RE is perfect for something along the lines of the single player experience when you want to beat it and you don't know what else to do, but you're really good at fucking rock, paper, scissors, right? RE's great for that. So when it comes to the casual players, no, RE didn't kill the game. What killed the game is the fact that no one gives a fuck about Soulcalibur and there's very lackluster single player content. And if you disagree with that, then you didn't play Soulcalibur 6's single player content, because it's pretty piss poor compared to the rest of the series, honestly. And that's because Soulcalibur 2, 3, and 4 had fucking phenomenal single player content. amazing single player content. Okay, so I don't know if we're just getting away from that because of the fact that we're in a new era of fighting games. I like RE, it's cool. Yeah, I like RE too. I like RE now. I didn't like launch RE. Launch RE was actually fucking egregious. I'll go to my gird saying that Soulcalibur 5 was the best gameplay wise. I think Soulcalibur 6 is the best gameplay wise. Like legitimately, that's not even a joke. I think this is the most refined of the Soulcalibur games. Now I do miss Brave Edges. We'll get into that too. Just the same way that people talk about Reversal Edge now is the same way people used to talk about Brave Edges back in the day. Like legitimately, people used to hate the way that you had to play around Brave Edges, because if your opponent had meter and they used a move that had a Brave Edge extension, you were always in an RPS, even if the move was minus. Because if the move is minus, but it has some sort of a follow-up, maybe it's not minus now, and now you can't punish it. And that's legitimately what happens on a lot of strings, right? Mitsurugi is a perfect example, 3BB. You cannot I-12 3BB or 3B Brave Edge on Mitsurugi if he continued the Brave Edge. But if he did not, he was minus 14 or minus 12, one of those two things, and you could hit him for it. Wonderful, right? Same with Reversal Edge. Reversal Edge is one of those things where if your opponent is not minus 6, they are minus 4, they're minus 2, and they go for a Reversal Edge, and you are immediately going for buttons, and your button is not Reversal Edge safe, you lose to it. You get beat by it, right? And originally there was not too many things to play around RE because it went straight through guard. You had to sidestep it. You had to, right? Originally RE went through guard. Now it is just plus on block, but you can block it. I think where RE is now is the most fair state RE has been in the entire game. Launch RE was fucking egregious and 100% turned off some players, maybe not casuals, but some players who would have said, you know what? I like Tekken. I played that Soulcalibur 2 game with Yoda. Oh wait, was that 2? No, that was 4. Yeah, Xbox, Yoda, PS4, PS3, Darth Vader. Yeah. I played that one. Let me try Soulcalibur 6. Let me give it a shot. Oh shit, Geralt. I like The Witcher. Tight, right? And then they turn on the game. And lower level players, like themselves, are gonna hold down that fucking RE button. They're gonna be like, how do I beat this shit? What the fuck? I know Yoda was in 4, that's the joke. The joke about it. Anyways. But when it comes to the more competitive-minded players, a mechanic like RE is actually a war crime. Like balance-wise and gameplay-wise, it's a war crime. Everything that it does is just like disrupting the flow of combat. What can I do against RE? Use RE safe moves. I know which games were rich. I was saying that people who don't remember Soulcalibur but kind of remember some of the guest characters and want to give the game a shot again. I'm not talking about me. I know what guest characters in what game. Don't worry. I know Devil Jin was a creative soul in 5, and I know Ezio was in the game. Dan Pierre's first appearance was actually on PSP, not on Soulcalibur 5. Anyways, I digress. Back to the topic of conversation here. Reversal Edge didn't kill the game. It turned off a lot of the more competitive-minded players, and that is the most that it did. A lot of competitive-minded players saw that the way that the game functioned based off of that, based off of Soul Charge. I don't even think it's just Reversal Edge. I think Soul Charge is also pretty bad game design, but Soul Charge is a little less. People don't think about Soul Charge in the same way they think about Reversal Edge because it doesn't slow the game down in a visible sense. When Soul Charge hits the screen, it's a burst, they're off you, now you go back to neutral, right? Back to neutral. Or if it's a splat, plus frames for somebody, right? A knockdown. But for the most part, it still feels like it's integrated properly into the gameplay. While with Reversal Edge, it legitimately takes you out of the gameplay to play a minigame and then pulls you back into the gameplay. You see what I mean? And that, for a lot of competitive-minded players, even if they're not top level players, because the best of the best players will play around whatever mechanics they have to be the best at the game, because that's what they want to do. Guard break moves and sidestep, yeah. Reversal Edge safe moves. So if you have a move where after you do it you can sidestep, that's a Reversal Edge safe move. That's how you beat Reversal. I do it to a lot of people. Zos has a plethora of RE safe moves. Kind of broken. But so because of that, right, the numbers are already relatively low. Just like every other Soulcalibur game. Soulcalibur's always been kind of a niche game. Zos is just RE safe, true. It's always been kind of a niche game. It's not a game that has a whole hell of a lot of players. The player base has never been huge for Soulcalibur, and it probably never will be, and I think that's okay, right? As long as the game is still alive and kicking, people are playing it, that's all that matters to me, right? But if you don't play Soulcalibur and you watch my videos a lot, you want to give it a shot, come give it a shot. Come to the chat. I'll teach you something. But the real nail in the coffin that made people either A, walk away from the game, or never give the game the light of day was the pulling the plug on the World Tour, bad netcode, and COVID. This game came out right at the start of the big push of, we need games that have better netcode. We need games that have better netcode. We need games that have better netcode, right? And this game, for as okay as its delay-based netcode is, it's still just okay delay-based netcode. It ain't okay rollback netcode, all right? If it was some okay rollback netcode, would be on a different level. I'd be getting clapped not being able to use lag tactics. Unfortunately, that is not the case for you motherfuckers. So I get to match 2-2A online. It's great for me, maybe not for you guys, right? So when you culminate all the factors of the awkward gameplay mechanics, the way that sometimes people don't like the way the game plays out in like a frame data sense, the World Tour, the big push for the game completely getting canceled due to an unforeseen event such as the COVID pandemic, nothing we could really do about that, and shoddy netcode, right? All of those things together is what killed Soulcalibur 6. Now, do I think the game's actually dead? No, I think the game is in a pretty healthy state. It's got a pretty small player base, but I think that's just how Soulcalibur is going to be and always will be. Soulcalibur hasn't been big since 2, and 2 wasn't even huge. In the grand scheme of how much smaller the FGC was, yeah, it was kind of a larger and more prominent game. But now that the FGC has gotten so much bigger, if you look at Soulcalibur after 2, it's nothing. It is like an anime game, okay? It's like a Melty Blood before Type Lumina, okay? It is a speck on the radar of the greater FGC. And that's just how it's gonna be. And there's nothing wrong with that. To like try to blame some factor that is probably not the ultimate cause of the downfall of your favorite game is stupid. It's silly. Don't do that. Do I like RE? No, I personally prefer Brave Edges and Just Guard. Do I like Soul Charge? No, I personally prefer Just Guard and Brave Edges. Me personally, I do. Like, I wish, like, if I could choose the perfect Soulcalibur game, it would be the movement of 2, right? The safe and fast movement of 2, the frames, Brave Edge, and Just Guard of 5, and the lethal hits and overall explosive damage of 6. It would be a culmination of the 3 best Soulcalibur games. 3, right? I still won't run counters, so if you're mashing on something and you're not doing step 2G or whatever, you're not doing that. You're not doing your 214s or you're not doing your, I guess that's what we'll call it, your 214s or your, what's the opposite? It's I forgot numbers. 874. Wait, 874. 874? 874. Yeah, 874. If you have like a 214 stance, you can't do 214. You have to do 874. If you're not doing your clean, backdash cancels like that and keep RMR in the series going forward, I think he'd be pretty cool. I like when Siegfried goes stab when I press a button. I'm lost in this discussion. We were talking about RE. What are those 2 things you said you prefer? So, I bring Terry, you're new to Soulcalibur, just like a lot of people who are complaining about Reversal Edge and don't even realize how egregious older mechanics were. Just Guard is a 3-frame guard where if you press the guard button 3 frames within a button, it makes the move negative. Or more negative, depending on how negative the move already is. Moves that are safe, I think that's great, actually. I really want to see some Soulcalibur characters in Samsho and some more Samsho characters in Soulcalibur. That'd be pretty sick. Moves that are like, I don't know, -8 become like -14, -15. Moves that are like barely punishable become fucking launch punishable. Right? Unblockables, you can just guard unblockable. You can just guard break attacks. It's along the lines of Just Guard from Guilty Gear Strive mixed with Flawless Block from Mortal Kombat 11. Except you don't have a canned input after, you can do whatever you want. And Brave Edges are essentially EX moves, along the lines of what Yoshimitsu and Geralt have. Everyone used to have EX moves. And the problem, the thing that people say about EX moves is that EX moves kind of create a lot of the same situations that I complain about a lot in this game, right? I complain about waiting on offense constantly, like my offense, waiting on my own offense, right? But instead, it's the opposite. You're waiting on defense. right? So when your opponent does a button, it is now your turn. They are minus, but are they really minus? Because they could Brave Edge extension that button, right? That is what Brave Edges did. They are EX moves. They are meter burn moves from like Mortal Kombat. Meter burn moves from Mortal Kombat usually happen after the fight. It's an additional part to the string, right? They're not EX moves. I think EX moves and meter burn moves are two totally different things that get mixed up a lot, and I don't think that they are not mutual. They are mutually exclusive. Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not one and the same. Okay, there can be meter burn moves and EX moves in the same game, because there are certain Mortal Kombat moves that are legitimately EX moves where you do it and you press the button and the thing happens at the same time. Meter burn moves are moves where you do the move and then you have an extension after when you press the meter burn button, whatever that may be. And Justice 2 and then Justice 1 have a lot more meter burn moves than Mortal Kombat does, right? Or at least previous Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat now, it's almost all meter burn moves. And that's what Brave Edges were. Brave Edges were half a bar mechanics. I wouldn't personally complain about RE. It's just annoying that I haven't learned how to play against people who use it a lot yet. Yeah, it's like what a lot of what playing around that defensive mechanic is, and things like GI and RI as well, if you really think about it, is just waiting on offense. Like, it's your turn or whatever, but you just have to wait because you might have to bait a defensive offense, right? So a lot of the things that I like to talk about, I think I've made a whole YouTube video on it before, like how to beat people mashing on defense and people beat people like using GI on defense. You have to use a lot more movement in neutral. When you are like +8, you can take a backstep, you're usually safe. You can take a sidestep, you're usually safe, right? So you have to use a lot more movement in neutral when you feel it's still feel based. You can't really, it's impossible to really not possibly lose your turn. You might lose your turn for it. You might do a sidestep, and instead of being -8, instead of your opponent being -8, a sidestep is -12, right? If you step block, so now they're +4. You lost your turn, but you did that taking space and hoping that you could bait a defensive option. Like, it happened, you know. And that's just part of the game, and that's what makes Soulcalibur so free-flowing, right? The thing that I complain about it is what makes the game free-flowing, so I can't be mad at that because I am a free-flowing offensive player. It's how I do my best work, you know? And I think Reversal Edge really helps with that, right? It helps with the free-flowing combat of the game, but it also slows the game down. So I could see the logic behind people saying that it killed the game, in a sense. Maybe it killed the game to them. Maybe they saw Reversal Edge, played the game once, dealt with Reversal Edge, and said, fuck no, I'm not playing this anymore. I had a friend who did that. Shout out to the homie, Ali at Faye. He used to stream a little bit of Soulcalibur. He doesn't stream much anymore, but he would stream You Should Flowchart 2B, good idea. He used to stream Tekken and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And he's one of the 2 guys in charge at our locals, back when I used to help out a lot too. And I played Soulcalibur, and he's like, you know, fuck it, I like 2 and 3. Yeah, sure, I'll give Soulcalibur 6 a shot. And his roommate loves Reversal Edge. And he fucking hates Reversal Edge. He's like, this mechanic, even if I play around it, it's just dumb. It just slows down the game too much, and I don't like it. So he doesn't play the game anymore. The things that he doesn't like about Soulcalibur aren't even meter. He doesn't mind CEs. He doesn't like Soul Charge and Reversal Edge. So it's not anecdote to say, like, there was people saying, oh, that's anecdotal evidence, bro. That's anecdotal evidence. No, Reversal Edge doesn't kill the game, bro. That's anecdotal evidence. People still play the game even because of Reversal Edge. Wrong. There are people who legitimately said, fuck Reversal Edge, I'm not playing this game. Or fuck Soul Charge, I'm not playing this game. Right? That's just how it works. Some people just don't like certain mechanics, and because of it, they won't play the game. Some people just don't like other things about. You like Soul Charge? I wish Soul Charge wasn't a defensive option that turned into an aggressive option. Like, what if your burst in Guilty Gear gave you superpowers? That's what Soul Charge is. SC makes characters cool. No, I agree. But those could just be meter burn moves, and then the characters would always be cool, and they'd have access to meter burn moves. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be so one-dimensional in the sense where once they go into Soul Charge, if you Gold Burst, no, it doesn't give your character superpowers. It gives you 2 bars of meter, and those 2 bars of meter are not superpowers. They can be used offensively or defensively. Once you Soul Charge, you are no longer defensive. You are a fucking offensive train in this game. That's just how it works. I think it's cool. Whatever. I'm not tripping. I don't like Soul Charge personally. I wish that the only way to get into Soul Charge was to use a Soul Attack, and that otherwise your Soul Charge moves were just meter burn moves. But if you wanted free soul charge meter for a little bit, you could use a soul attack and you would have a gauge that drains down. And as it drains, you lose access to your meter burn moves for free. You don't have to spend meter for them while you're in that move. Same with RI. While you're in that, you don't have to spend meter for RI. That's just me, but I'm not the game designer. Gold Burst is also using burst in an offensive way to gain potential offensive advantage. Soul Charge gives you offensive advantage. It is 0 on block or plus on hit. There is no potential. That is the difference. You are getting the superpowers when you Soul Charge. You are potentially not getting the superpowers and could still get run over when you Gold Burst. That's like the only difference. It's very close. It's very close. I can see like the parallels, right? I understand. And hey, Elliot, I was just talking about you saying that you don't like Soul Charge and Reversal Edge, and how that does legitimately kill the game for some people. Now I'm saying that using Gold Burst isn't defensive because you can't Gold Burst while defending. Yeah, exactly. Like Reversal Edge, Soul Charge, you can use it in a defensive manner and then gain offense off it. Or you can use it off like a launcher to splat your opponent to the ground and then get offense off of it, right? There's always the choice of defense or offense, which is busted, to say the least. Busted. I think that because of the way that the game flows, it works for me because, hey, I like busted shit. Cool, whatever, no problem. I'll get over it. But I don't particularly like the mechanic. I'd much rather have meter burn moves again. I'd much rather have brave edges. And then same with Reversal Edge. I'd much rather have. You can't. Yes, you can use Gold Burst on defense forehead. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can only use Gold Burst on defense if you are literally not being pressured. And that's the riskiest way to use Gold Burst. If you use Gold Burst in that sense, are you gonna tell me, no, do it, go ahead. At higher level, you will get blown up, Kaiji. You're good at the game, but at higher level, you are going to get blown up for that. You are going to. Gold Burst is not a defensive option. You legitimately cannot use it while defending. You have to not be in hit stun to Gold Burst, which means that you are not on defense. If you are not defending, you can Gold Burst in block string gaps. Yeah, if they leave a gap. If they don't leave a real gap, you can't Gold Burst. Almost every string in the game is actually burstable, not Gold Burstable, if they don't leave gaps in their Gatlings. I think there's probably a few. But for the most part, you cannot do that unless they're leaving gaps in their strings. And if they're leaving gaps in their strings, then it's not their turn. It's your turn. You're on offense because there's a gap. See how that works? See how that works, Kaiju? Anyways, for the YouTubes, hey peoples, if you enjoyed the talk about Reversal Edge and Soul Charge and what possibly potentially killed the game or lowered its popularity in the competitive scene, shut up, starting to be smart. I am smart. Smart, big smart. Anyways, if you enjoyed this topic, leave a like on the video, please. Feel free to subscribe. It'd be sick to hit like 300 subscribers by the end of the year. I doubt it, but it'd be pretty sick. I'm sitting at like 200 something. And watch some more videos. Even better, come watch the streams. That'd be sick. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Beanie Thuggish, signing out.